This episode is brought to you by our friends at MILWAUKEE Tools. Outdoor power equipment gives you the power to clear, cut, and maintain the outdoors without the petrol headaches. No pull starts, no engine maintenance, no mixing petrol and oil. Book a test drive now at MILWAUKEETools.com.au. Milwaukee, nothing but heavy duty. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at RIXX. RIXX is an Australian lifestyle brand founded with a mission to transform the eyewear industry by creating carefully crafted eyewear that inspires confidence. Everybody should be able to enjoy a touch of luxury and the confidence it brings. See the world differently today. Head online now at rixeyewear.com.au and check it out. Righto, let's get into the show.
Oh, Dyson, welcome to the potty, mate.
Tommy, thanks, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Just saying, what a spot, what a location you are here. You're Albert Park, man. I won't give the house away, but the area here. You were just saying that Wispy. For anyone out there who doesn't know, Joe Watson, he's just dragged all the boys this side.
Yeah, no doubt. No, Joe's been here for years down in Albert Park, Bayside. So early in my career, I reckon he was like, come have a squiz down this way, and we soon jumped on board, and I reckon we've got nearly 20 odd of the lads living down sort of Port Melbourne, Albert Park through to Elwood, yeah.
It's a great, what's your local cafe? I love asking boys, they're local.
Yeah, a little local. Plenty to choose from around here. There's one just down in St Kilda West called Frankie's, good little spot. Then you've obviously got the little institution called Dundas and Fawcett. That's where you see all the punters swanning about Dundas. So if you want to put the RIXX shades on, mate, that's where you go.
I've had a few chili scrambled eggs at Dundas. Very good. You see every man and his dog when you go there.
No doubt. Every punter rocks up there. So
APH is a great place for a beer and a feed. Great food as well, like underrated.
No doubt. They did an absolute number on that. I think it was a bit run down in the day, and then big Chris Morris, he's a Dons man. He's part of the crew that took that over and tidied her up, and absolute pearler there.
Oh, he's a Dons man?
Yeah, Dons boy.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah, get around it.
We love that. On the Dons, how you going? New coach now, so like I don't normally talk too much footy, but being an Essendon man growing up, I love the Dons, and now that I'm out of the system, I've got three teams. The two you played for and the Dons. Nice. There's a lot of movement, a lot of things going on. How do you sum it up as the skip?
Yeah, no doubt. Look, it's been a pretty tough year, this one just gone. So obviously a few moving parts towards the back end. And look, it's I think the season certainly didn't pan out the way we would have liked. Coming off the back of last year, making finals, building an awesome little vibe around the club. And then I guess that's the nature of footy. It's ruthless. You sort of don't put the wins on the board, then heads tend to roll. So they removed Truck from his gig, and I think the way he handled everything through that period is you just wouldn't get a better bloke. So proud of the way he handled everything, and certainly feel for him. It was awesome, ripping fella and great coach. So I no doubt you'll see him at a head coaching gig down the track. But yeah, new gig with Scotty. So Brad Scott come in and taken over the gig, and looking forward to it. Actually, really excited about next season and seeing what we can build.
Just on Truck, like we don't want to talk too many questions because I don't want to get anyone in trouble here. But is it a very unique situation when I'm going from the outside and external noise when you're internal, in the four walls, you don't talk about it, but. Yeah. It must have been a bit weird how quickly it happened, and how was it as you're the skipper, so you got to talk to the boys and say, hey, I don't know, or I do know, or you hear it so late. How was the kind of morale in his last game anyway?
Yeah, no doubt. It's a tough period. It was, and the nature of things, you sort of look back and we had some really tight games, sort of the last 4 or 5 rounds of the season, a couple of close ones that we got, stitched up, and kind of feel looking back, if we had won those games, it might have saved his gig. You just don't don't really know. But and then look, for it all to go down the way it did, and then I think for us, we performed quite poorly in the last couple of games of the season, and it was pretty disappointing to go out that way. But I think just the emotional toll that it had all taken on the group had sort of done its dash by the end, and it was sort of good to put a finality on that season, to be honest. And no doubt a lot of growth and learning through adversity, which I've had plenty of over the career. But, you know, it was a very trying season where you're trying to, you know, battling with own individual form, team form, and then trying to lead the boys as well. It certainly had its challenges, yeah.
We'll get on your career because we'll talk about the juniors because, you know, Gippsland, I've got a little story there. But how would, you know, how do you go motivating the group whilst trying to perform and everything else that's going on? Because you see it all the time, you know, people, where before they get the captaincy role, they're like, they should be the skipper. But then there's other people that go, no, well, he can just keep dominating and doing, he's a skipper, but we don't need to give him the title and the responsibility and the media commitments and all the meetings that come with it.
Sure.
People don't realise it must take its toll sometimes when you're going through that stuff.
Certainly does. Yeah, I love the gig. It's, you know, enormously proud to be the skipper of the footy club. Like you, mate, grew up Barracan for the Dons. So I loved it. And it certainly took time for me to really feel at home as the captain. Took over the gig from Joe when I was 24. Joe's probably one of the greatest leaders to friggin' play the game. So I've rolled in with, you know, big shoes to fill. But sort of found my feet as I went, and your sort of mindset changes over time as you mature and you find things, you learn things, and you just have a different perspective. It's sort of about, you know, you found you just had to try and dominate on a weekend early where it was like, that's me as the leader. And then it's soon turns into, righto, how can I help others develop and get the best out of them, and then really, you know, sometimes sacrifice some of your own game to lift others and things like that. But what I certainly have found, it's you need to give yourself energy, time and energy to get yourself motivated and be in a really good space to be able to give your best self to the rest of the playing group. So I find that's been a big learning, making sure I do get time for myself and chill out a bit to make sure I'm in a good headspace and physically ready for the gig, you know, to be able to fire up and try and lead the boys as best I can.
Yeah, I was just, mate, there's just so much that goes into it. I mean, and you do it so well. The one thing that stands out, what was the game where Hurdy walked out like the Undertaker? And what was that?
That was unbelievable.
Mate, that was,
out of the smoke.
Mate, it was like the Undertaker. If he had a hat on and had Undertaker music, mate, it was just, and then but then you go, then, you know, for me, I just vividly remember your speech, couldn't hear it, looked at it, loved it. You know, everyone wanted to understand what you were saying. Just who was in that circle was pretty special if you are an Essendon man growing up. But those moments there, that's a lot of energy and a lot of time that you would have prepared for that one, and then you got to go out and then perform. Yeah. Do you find like when the game's done that you are just so zapped and you need a bit extra away from the group just to get yourself back, or is it
fair shout? I think when things when you're in a really good rhythm and flow and feeling really comfortable about it, it sort of gives you energy. That, you know, game day and the responsibility and the emotion of it all. I find, obviously you're physically knackered after a game of footy, but I find like when you're humming along, teams winning, the vibe's high, like it's great, like you're happy days. But at times, particularly moments throughout this year, it was just like that. Your example, 150th anniversary of the footy club. Played Carlton. It was Friday night, monster crowd.
We love a big crowd.
Love a big crowd, huge. And the crew that I was talking to were like the epitome of the Dons Footy Club and AFL in general. You know, so many flags, all Australians, BNS between them. And I was like, man, this is unbelievable. And like, it wasn't, I didn't prepare anything.
Nah, it's off the
I just
cuff.
went, I'm just going here.
Yeah.
And I got that revved up.
Yeah.
Like, here we go. So I got charging. And anyway, I can't even remember like what I spat out, but apparently it came out all right.
Yeah, I made it look good.
It was good. That's sweet. And then, obviously you roll out, and then we didn't perform all that well in the end against the Blues, but that's the way things go. But so many unbelievable experiences across the journey. Yeah.
I know. I mean, when 5-10 years when you're done, you look back. But that I don't know. For me, just if you get a photo and hang that one up in your pool room, mate, around the back here, it'd be a special moment. What about the last question on footy? Because I'm only asking because it is, I want to know the answer just myself.
Yeah.
What do you find? You talked about the Dons, the boys, the young. I know a few of the boys like Jai Caldwell. I think he's going to be a star, and I think he's going to add a lot of hardness. But when you're so good and you're so bad, it's typical of a young group. But what's the one thing you reckon there's a common theme? It doesn't have to be a secret, but what is it that you find it's a very easy fix? You go on Monday and you go, well, boys, it's obvious. We used to talk about effort would be one.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Or is it just maybe there's a few game plan things with young guys catching up? Because as I said, your good's unbelievable.
No doubt.
And then the bad, well, then it's a bit of a up and down, which causes a bit of frustration.
Yep.
But as you know, when the good's good, you know there's a lot of potential there, so it's exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the one thing that would be the thing that stands out?
Mate, I wish I had the answer. I wish I had this simple recipe for you. And footy can be a very simple game at times, you know. So
it can be complicated as well.
Exactly. But if you overcomplicate things, you know, it's sort of cooks you. But mate, I think, as you say, young group. When guys are buzzing, feeling physically ready and really clear on their role leading into game day, it tends to pan out really well. Boys just play with freedom, just on instincts, like you do in junior footy, mate. You want to have fun.
Yeah.
You want to feel good the way you're going and going with confidence, you know. But that's it. Young team, built in a bit of a new system and game plan 2021. Things flowed really well, felt like we had a good handle on it. And then there's just that trying, teething period where other teams are now understanding the way we play. They put things in place to stifle that. We're trying to find ways around it. And you sort of have these big ups and downs throughout the year. So, that was a challenging part this year for sure.
What about you, mate? Big year, you know, you're a star, mate. You've been there from, even when I wasn't drafted, I'm going along, you're dominating, you won the NAB Rising. It was a really good start without, you know, all the stuff you had to go through during it, and now you're still going through it. But how are you and how was it? Like, was it one of the hardest years you've had?
Yeah, mate.
You've had a few.
Yeah, had a few toughies, no doubt. Look, mate, I'm in a great space. I'm really good at the moment, and obviously you get a period of time away at the end of the season to get away from it, dissect and rest and rejuvenate. But mate, yeah, absolutely, no doubt it was a tough year. It was a tough year, but I'm a pretty optimistic type of lad.
You're up and about.
Try and get up and about, mate. But yeah, certainly times this year was tough to do that, and a lot of that was sort of battling with individual form along with the team as well. As I was saying, when you're trying to lead and you're grinding away, trying to find your recipe to get back to your best, and sometimes things just don't click, mate, and that's the nature of it. And you need to accept that and boot on. And mate, I'm just as excited and motivated to get back to playing my best footy leading into 2023. So
mate, I can't wait to watch it. It's gonna be good. As I said, there's a lot of potential there, and some good. I love the spine. I love it. There's a few big boys.
Good spine, yeah.
Good spine. Big Drapes is there.
Yeah, no
big
doubt.
2 metre. We'll get away from footy. Let's go off season, mate. You would have had a few now. What's this one look like? And what's a bit of travel involved? Are you just chilling out in Melbourne?
Yeah, it's been good actually. We had every punter got wind of our footy trip over in Ibiza.
Oh, did they? Who liked that one?
No, serious. They're unreal.
Not allowed to go on a footy trip anymore.
Oh no, it's all go, isn't it? But look, one of the best trips I've been on. It was awesome. I feel it's great to get away with the boys whenever you can.
Good numbers as well.
Yeah, no
you
doubt.
need good buy-in.
Mate, 35 lads. Jaden Laverty was the main man, sort of heading it up. And
we love those blokes.
He rallied the troops, and he had it really dialed in, organised really well over there. So that was an awesome time, 4 days there. And then met my partner Kate in Rome after that. And we travelled right down through Puglia and finished up in Sardinia at the back end of it. So about 4 or 5 weeks over there. Then sort of back in town, and mate, we'd knocked off early, so I got back for the granny and Brownlow and things like that. But yeah, and then the rest of it, mate, it's sort of pretty cruisy. We've got a couple of mates, and Kate's twin is having babies, so it's all happening.
That's right.
So I like to be around for that time and meet the little ones. But been good getting back home to Gippy, catching family and friends, and a bit of to and fro from here and there. How
much time do you spend in Gippy? It's a fair drive.
Yeah, a couple of hours, mate. It's not too bad. Not too bad. But look, I used to get back heaps, but not as much as I'd like. You'd like to get back more. And God's country down at Inverloch now. The folks are perched up in Inverloch, built their new pad, so stoked to get back there and whatever. But we'll get back for in a couple of weeks, and I think we'll duck down tomorrow, so that'd be good.
Yeah, peace and quiet out there, isn't there?
No doubt, mate. The beaches.
It's a ghost town.
Have you been in there?
I played footy against. I don't think you were playing, but I just remember going down there, and I don't think I've ever been back just because I haven't been down there. But it was just so there's a lot of infrastructure and a lot of shops, but there was just no one around. Yeah, I don't know whether it was because I was playing on a Sunday or I don't know what day I was playing, but.
Yeah. Guts of winter, like you obviously get the Melbourne crew and that head down over summer and the joints pumping, but throughout winter it's a pretty sleepy little coastal town, but I love it, man. It's so
the Airbnbs, I reckon they're booming out that side. Everyone just wants to get out of this big smoke.
The joints charging. COVID sort of did it wonders. Well, I won't say did it wonders because, when you're local, you want to keep it under
wraps. I know. They don't want too much noise. It's like Rolln. Exactly. This time of year, they hate it. Everyone's starting to go down the beach.
Yeah, but it's always great, mate.
All your mates still down there, or there's a few ventured up here?
Yeah, we had a lot of crew sort of early days, come up to the city for uni, work and whatever. And then it was sort of around that COVID time. A lot of them ended up heading back because whatever, for those reasons, living back in the country and they could move around a bit back there. So, and they haven't come back up. They're just perched up there and loving it. So yeah, good little crew down there.
I'm thinking of footy trips and but travel. Let's go to travel.
Yeah.
You would have done a bit of travel. Where's a couple of places that you've been that you really love that you wouldn't mind going back?
Yeah, nice. I love Europe. So that 2016 year we had off. We spent about 10 weeks over in Europe trekking around and just went all over the place and just some unbelievable joints there. So that's sort of my number one spot. If we're going to go, we'll boot off over there. But done a few different ones. A couple of times to India. Yeah, Sri Lanka a couple of times. Did the Bali, the classic.
I haven't done Bali in ages.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while since Bali.
I feel like I've done it on Instagram. I reckon it's Finn's Beach Club, and there's a couple other places, and it's I can just watch someone's Instagram and go, oh, I'm there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like a new crew roll.
I know. But they've got the joint humming, like through Chengdu and that. There's feels like a lot of Melbourne crew have been there, set up elite restaurants, cafes, all that kind of jazz. So, but travelled to, pretty cool places, mate. Been very fortunate in that regard to be able to get about and travel.
What was India like? I don't know many people that have been there.
Yeah, full noise, like as you'd expect. You've got the massive, I guess, disparity from the really poor and the really wealthy. So going through the slums and that is just crazy, like really eye-opening, and gives you an enormous amount of gratitude for what we have here. But look, some beautiful spots. Went through like down to the Ranthambore National Park and seeing tigers in the wild and stuff like that. Some really cool experiences.
You feel like it's safe as houses out there?
It wouldn't say safe as houses, but
depending on where you are.
Yeah, no doubt. That's it. You sort of you have your areas that get a bit sketchy, but no, we kept it pretty tight, mate, and mainly the main cities, Calcutta, Mumbai, Delhi, things like that. So
I don't know many people that have been there. I know Nicky Marsh has spoken about it but they're on tour.
True.
So it's all protected and their buses, like it's full on.
Yeah. No, next level. Went there with this crew called Red Dust Role Models. They run some mainly in the Indigenous community, running sporting programs for underprivileged kids and things like that. Went over there to India to do that, and we had a number of cricketers with us. I know stuff all about cricket, so first time I'd met these punters. And we get there, and no joke, every kid knew who they were. They hadn't played for Australia. A couple of Victorian cricketers, they all knew them. Like it was full noise, just cricket.
Great cricketers, just they love it. They love it.
So I just pretended like I was mad at cricket.
How do you go at cricket?
No, I'm hopeless.
Never played.
No, never played, and I'm actually hopeless. No good.
Yeah,
no good.
Growing up, what other sports did you play?
So it was always, footy, basketball, they were the main ones, but then it was always water skiing sort of for the summer and stuff like that. So, that was
Did you barefoot?
No, mate, I'm no good. I haven't had a crack at barefooting. Mates and that dip right in, they have a go at barefooting. I was usually just slalom or a bit of wakeboarding. Mate.
Yeah, I could never get going on the wakeboard.
Yeah.
Slalom, I was all right at that.
Yeah, didn't mind it.
I used to love that. I had some fun stories. I've got a mate, I better not read his name. He's a lunatic, and he used to love spraying. You know, like there's a boat and they just go past and spray. I'll never forget it, mate. This bloke's on the barbie. He's got his snag. He's on the kneeboard. And he's given him a little bit. The bloke's filthy and he's come off.
Yeah.
And I'm on the skis. So it was a unique combo because I'm on the skis on the kneeboard and this bloke was just ready to rip his head off. So quick, get us back just straight home. I haven't been on the river that long.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it though? Like that was sort of, I put it on ice a bit later part of my career, just sort of,
you don't want one
risk
of them.
Injury. Don't want one of them cheekies. But early days, off seasons and stuff, we'd go and give it a fair nudge up in Echuca or up on the Murray, which is always good fun.
Would you prefer, this is always a little locker room chat, but the river or like the beach? Like when we were growing up, it was the Murray or it was Rolln, and you had to flip the coin every summer.
Yeah, fair game. I love the beach. I'm big on the beach, but there's a little perch up in the Barmer Forest that Kate's family actually introduced me to, and that's just magic. It's like you don't see another boat about. The river's crystal, calm as can be.
You need it crystal, don't you? You don't want that the big Malibu's coming past and you're on the old ski, you go and get out of here. I've got to like full pelt your legs down so you don't
Well, I turned into one of those wankers that if there's any chop on the water, you're not scared, mate. It's got a big glass. Oh dear.
It was good growing up. We'll go back to growing up because that's where I would have first met you. Talk to me about it. Like, how was it? You go from the country boy and now you're in the big smoke and you're the skipper of one of the biggest teams, the most powerful teams in the league. But let's go back to like a 12-year-old Dyso.
Beauty.
What were you up to? Where was it? And how was life back then?
Nice, yeah. And I grew up in South Gippsland, a little place called Langatha. awesome little upbringing, sick little country town, everyone sort of involved in sport. The old man was the coach of the local footy team, under 12s.
Oh, he's a good coach. Look at his...
Mate, I thought footy, I've rolled in, we had an elite team. Like the crew I come through with my age back home, a lot of them are still playing senior footy and have won 3 out of the last 5 flags there. So it's a good crew. Didn't lose a game in my first 3 seasons of footy, so
mate,
rolled in.
on it.
Mate, absolutely. Dad's bloody filled the cupboard full of trophies because he coached my older brother too before me, and they cleaned up too. But look, awesome little upbringing back in the country. As you say, like water skiing trips. Quite enjoyed school as well. Had a good little crew that we'd roll through Leongatha Primary onto Leongatha Secondary. So just stayed back home and local. Mate, a lot of it. Not too out of the ordinary back home, to be honest. Just running amok. Had the older brother and younger brother, the 3 of us, very close, very competitive siblings.
Where are you sitting?
I'm in the middle. Yeah. We were always mucking around together. And
are you tougher for it? Like, who's the toughest out of all 3? You reckon the youngest?
Youngest Azar. He's tough as nails. Yeah, don't tell him we said that, but he's
cut this one out.
No, he's all go. Az was always the one that was like, you'd be playing mucks up outside or whatever, and he'd be in the front of the pack, like always on defense in basketball 1-on-1. Just absolutely. But loved it. Loved that
love
shit.
being included.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome upbringing, and then sort of played it. I love my basketball. I did love my b-ball, so I came down to play with the Melbourne Tigers for about 5 years.
Oh, really?
Mum and Dad were punching a lot of Ks, sort of trekking me in the old Land Cruiser, which I still got, just ticked over about 750,000.
I was going to say 700,000.
Yeah, it's done a number. So I spent a lot of time in the city at that age, which, looking back, I think was really good for my development. Sort of getting out of the country, spending time in the city, meeting new people, made a lot of new friends that I'll still catch up with to today. And that was always good fun. The b-ball, a couple of state teams there and whatever, and then gave that the flick because I was no good in the end about under 16s and focused on footy.
It's funny. It gets to like that 15, 16. You're playing a couple of sports and you're like, there's no career path here.
That's it. Let's go.
But you're pretty high up.
Gave it a good shake.
Point guard?
Yeah, point guard early days, sort of 12s and under 12s in the state sides there. And then sort of everyone started catching me. I was like a decent size for a point guard and was all right. And then everyone sort of caught me growing wise and they started killing it.
Mate, they just shoot up, don't they?
They shoot up. They turned that good overnight. And I'm like, righto, time to flick that. But and then through the footy pathway down there, Leongatha Parrots, Mighty Parrots, mate. That's our mascot.
What a name.
Vicious.
That is vicious.
And then, rolled through that through the Gippy Power programs. And then it went from there. Yeah.
Back to the basketball. Were there any stars that have progressed?
Lads that have gone on. Mitch Creek's probably the main one. So Creek, he had a bit of a dabble in the NBA. So he's had a good crack there.
He's dominating.
Yeah, he's killing it with Phoenix. So he's probably the main one that's really cracked on. We had a good crew that sort of went. A couple of them went over to college and had a nudge there, and a few still playing NBL. So,
jeez, wouldn't you just like? Did you? You know when you had the year off, right? Did you ever think about doing college?
Going just enrolling a little bit.
You wouldn't have been allowed.
No, I don't think so.
A lot of us always, when you retire, like maybe go over there. They're too young, but
it'd be Christmas. It'd be the funnest time.
Do you think you'd have the shoe to do it? Because it's a bit of height involved.
Mate, I can't kick over a jam tin, please. I don't have the shoe. A few lads definitely do, though.
Who would have the shoe at the Dons?
Oh, who we got? Well, Gareth McDonough, who's just, he got delisted this year, but he come from the TIGS VFL program. He's got an elite left foot little barrel on him. Brandon Zerk-Thatcher, good shoe. A couple of lads get onto him.
Mace
Redmond, Mace Fletch.
So Mace Fletch, he was at the Dons for a bit there, wasn't he?
He come for a run. Yeah, had a bit of a crack.
He's dominant. I saw him kick an 82-yard bloody punt the other day. But was he doing this stuff at the Dons? Is he got a massive leg on him when
he's got a good shoe, but no one really would have realised, apart from his old boy, you probably thought he'd have a decent leg. It's funny though, like Mace, the two Fletch boys growing up, they run amok through the locker rooms. Yeah. And now, like, you get videos of them smoking cigars after the winning flags, isn't it?
I love them. I love it.
It's unreal.
I can't wait. I hope they all make it in the NFL. There's a lot of Aussies doing really well.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw one. Who was it? I watched the game today. I mean, this will be delayed, but anyway, he's an Aussie punter. He's kicked the old check side, and the bloke's fumbled it. And you can just, I don't reckon they do the bananas over there.
They'd be rattled over there.
They're rattled, mate. Yeah, I'm surprised they don't. Do you watch a bit of NFL?
No.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I'm getting it.
So, mate.
Oh, I'm going to just
wrap this up.
The punters though, I'm just surprised they don't, get around it and just leg it. A few more bananas. But NBA then, you must be a massive NBA man.
I don't mind NBA. Yeah, get into that.
Got a team or just follow players?
Denver Nuggets, mate. Yeah, I'm a Nuggets boy.
They're stacked up at the moment.
Yeah, they're going all right. They're sort of rough early one, and then they've won the last couple, so we're going all right, the boys.
Oh, just keeping a lid on it. Just beating the Warriors at home the other day.
Look at that, eh?
Jokic is he your favourite? Jokic?
Yeah, no, he's elite, mate.
He's a bit of a weapon.
Yeah.
Well then, Gippy. So growing up, I just remember two names, yourself and Jed Lamb.
Jeddah.
Jeez, didn't he? Just used to dominate.
Mate, what about that for a boy? Yeah, no, he was elite. He had an unbelievable season with Gippy in that top age year. So, and his bottom age year actually was awesome. So, yeah, Jeddah, he was, and he'd let you know about it too.
Oh, he loved it. Did he love it, did he?
100%. Loved it.
Am I missing anyone? Was there another person that...
Who did we have? We had...
you had a whiteboard and it was like, you two were at the top. It's like, we have to stop these two.
Stop the boys. So that's a couple... lad Michael Ross come to the Dons as well via the rookie draft or late in the draft. Came to the Bombers for a few years. Yep. Dean McDonald, Morwell boy, ended up at the Tigs. Had about a season there and then went back home. But so we had a pretty consistent crew. So only I think 4 of us end up getting picked up, but the guys just below still handy footballers. Yeah.
Yeah. Geez, it was a bit. I remember. I mean, I know you don't want to talk about the granny, but geez, it's a whole lot of my life. The TAC
I'm still savage on this. This is no good.
Cam Guthrie got the role. I don't think you meant to tag. We were like, I think we're gonna let come out the back.
You want to go here? We'll go here.
Yeah, we sent him to you. We said just shut him down. Cam Guthrie is honestly one of the most elite. You could put him anywhere on the field and he just gets it done. It's no surprise he's dominating still now.
He gave me nightmares for a long time.
Oh mate,
coming in. What ended up happening? We had a awesome little final series. I don't know where we finished, but we had a great little final series. Stitched Oakley in the prelim. Then you boys, I think you stack your team with all your bloody private school lads.
All the private. Hey mate, a few of us have been doing all the muscle, getting us just. I think we scrapped in a 7th or 8th. True. And then in comes Liberatore, Wallace, Prestia.
Absolutely stacked the team, and you just come home flying. I think you smoked us. Cam gave me an absolute bath. Not allowed to tag, but I was vicious on that. And I think Mitch had 50.
He did. It was a run with. It wasn't a tag. It was
Dion had an unbelievable.
How's the midfield we had? It was
mate.
Not that I did, but it had Brandon Ellis was on one wing. There's me on the other wing. But then you got Mitch Wallace. You got Libba.
Yeah.
Dion Prestia, you got big Ned Danaher, could just flick it anywhere on the centre square bounce. The greatest fencer of all time, old Noodles. He's the great man, but he would just flick it anywhere. And then you've got a few rotating off the bench that all got picked up.
It had a hell of a team, but anyway, I was pretty bitter on that for a while.
Yeah, you would be bitter. What about your junior? Who was in your juniors? Was there anyone you played with in the top age?
Who we have? Like Kobe Stevens, John Butcher, Campbell Heath, Eddie Carr. We had a bit of a crew.
Johnny Butcher got paid, didn't he? He got that year where he got paid.
Mate, he's probably the best junior footballer I've seen. That bloke was unbelievable. And then he had a couple of unbelievable games in the over with Port, but his body sort of didn't stack up too well for him.
The big boys, they go down hard.
They do, the big lads.
And then I mean, I'm talking a bit of footy. This is actually...
we're all right. Let's chill on the fat. Here we go.
It's good, though. It's good. No rising. Straight into it.
True. No, came off a really exciting year. I think coming in, getting drafted, pick 8 to the Dons, which was huge in itself.
You were the man. I remember. You were the man. You were everywhere. They got the country boy. Who's this guy? Plenty of personality.
No, leading into the draft, I actually hadn't spoken to the Dons. I spoke to every team bar Essendon. And then... the cat come out of the bag that I had cooked groins, which was not true. That was our club doc let that one out at Brucey Reid, the late Bruce Reid. Yeah. He was my doctor when I had OP back when I was 16. So I was come down the city to see him. And anyway, he's let this little rumour out leading into the draft that my groins are no good, so I could try and slip through.
Little slide.
It worked a treat. So anyway, I managed to slide through to the Dons at pick 8. Hurdy, first-time coach, met him for the first time night before the draft. Sitting around the tent with the family at the Burleigh Heads Caravan Park.
Oh, what a spot.
Mate, unbelievable. So Hurdy rolled in with a couple of recruiters, sat around on the little camp chairs, and that was me interview with the Bombers.
Oh, how good's that?
They said, if you're there at pick 8, we're going to take you tomorrow night. And I couldn't believe it. So that was huge. And then rolling in, first year, just a awesome year. Had it just so much fun. Like, managed to play round one. And I vividly remember even it was the preseason games at the time. And the first game I played at that, just the buzz and the energy in Telstra Dome at the time or whatever.
Yeah.
After that game, I was like, this is a real sort
You topped up. I reckon I was there because I was only at 16. I remember this bloke's a star.
There you go.
Sitting in the third tier, just like bird's eye, like this guy got it all, the left leg.
Here we go. Went all right. So the first couple of those ones, I thought, man, this is unreal. And it had like that real addictive feeling that you want more of it. And then, sort of rolled in round one. Then didn't end up missing a game in my entire first year, which was pretty cool. Sort of body held up well, and managed to put in a reasonable one and win the NAB Rising, which was pretty, surreal at the time, and still look back and go, gee, that's pretty cool.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to tick that one off.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, that was early days, and then sort of to rolled on, developing from there, yeah.
It's, you were humming that. You started to hum there.
Yeah, we're going okay. First couple of years, pretty good. Finals, we got this Carlton stitches, I think, in our first final, so we got knocked out there, but made it in the first year, which was cool. And then sort of, those first, next few years, quite successful, but then sort of it all went pear-shaped a bit when we sort of lead into the saga and things like that.
Oh, didn't that drag on?
Yeah.
Do you when you think about, wouldn't probably think like I would when it was done, but do you ever think about just all the highs and the lows and just like, it's been such a unique ride for you and, even Scotty Gumbel, good mates with him. Like I've chatted to him about just some of the experiences, like just, it's a bizarre,
100%. It is, mate. And I think about it and I kind of go, look, I honestly, you say it, but you wouldn't want it any other way. Like I love having these extreme challenges in your life and the lessons you learn, the resilience from it all, the camaraderie and mateship that I have with those guys that we went through it all with. Look, honestly, just a dog of a time. Oh. It really was. But I look back and it's, mate, you've had a unique career and it's like going through experiences like that and just learning so much. And I honestly don't have any ill feelings towards it when I think about it now.
Moved on.
Yeah, moved on for sure.
And you're happy with it? Did it take a while?
Yeah, it took a while, absolutely. It did take a while. And it was, coming back, it was sort of felt like I just found my rhythm and really humming as a footballer leading into that year we had off. So it was kind of like, bagger, you want to keep charging. And then coming back.
Classic stitch up.
Yeah, no doubt. But look, mate, don't have any ill feelings towards it now.
Having a year off, just in general, like say, the worst situation in the world is what happened. But when you come back, was the body fresh or was like, nah, I had to get going again?
It was early in the year, cherry. Like it felt great. Come back, I think I played one of my best games I've ever played in the first game back against the Hawks. And then, sort of chipped away and eventually it sort of took its toll a bit, I reckon, leading into the back end of that year. But no, it probably did wonders for the body. It sort of got on top of everything that you needed to. But yeah.
Did you do any, fuck that stuff, but like when you had the year off, I'm more interested in travel and you just getting away from footy. Like I spoke to Job on the potty and he went to New York and was 50-50 coming back. Didn't want to come back.
True.
Only came back for a wedding, I think it was, and then he was here. When you had the year off to get your perspective on everything else, but what did you do? Was there things where you're like, I'm going to go and do this because I know I can't do that as a footballer?
Yeah, that was a big one, getting the European summer. And I got a lot of family over in a little place called De Quakel, about 45 out of Amsterdam, which was unreal.
Oh, so
a bit of time there with that crew. Kate's got family over in Ireland.
How good's Ireland?
Mate, unbelievable. Loved it.
Dublin goes off.
It goes off. So that was one of the funnest little times, over in Ireland, meeting her family and running amok there was awesome. And then, getting to experience a whole European summer. We had 12 of the boys we met up in Croatia, had our own little couple of boats and cruised down through Hvar and whatever through there. And
you mean the crew? Is it a good crew?
Good crew, mate. This is a couple of menaces, but it was great.
We need a couple.
Mick Hibbard.
Oh, Hibbard. I love Hibbard.
Freeze, Tommy Bell, Cale Hooker, this mob. Job running the show.
Rosés everywhere.
It was great, mate. We had a hell of a time. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You need to maximise what's going on in that shit period. Then coming back, spoke about that first game, off to the races, and then here we are. He's still cruising. Let's take it to this next, the few. What do you want out of the rest of your career in terms of footy while we're still on it? What is it that you want? We clearly know the classic answer.
Yeah.
You're coming to the end-ish. There's still 5 to 6 there, right?
No worries.
But what is it? Because you're like, now that you're in this position, you've been the NAB Rising, you got a younger list.
Yep.
You're going to be more demanding because you want it more? Or is it, how do you...
Look, I don't think, I just really want to be true to who I am, mate. And I just want to play a part in getting the best out of my teammates, you know, really trying to help develop those around me, and making them feel like they really belong within the four walls at the footy club. Just be a role model towards that, and just be a bloody good teammate. You know, obviously premiership success is why you play footy, mate. You want that and hungry for that. And, you know, obviously you do everything you can to try and get there. But having said that, at the end of the day, if I can just be a bloody good teammate and really play a part in helping guys get the best out of themselves and, share as much knowledge and whatever I can to them, then I'll, happily call it a day and look back at it really fondly.
Oh, mate, I don't know a bloke that's ever said a bad word about you. You're definitely a great teammate, mate. You're a ripper. Now, we've already touched on travel. We've got a few segments here coming up, mate. You don't come on now the Oz American Aces platform without coming home empty-handed.
This is nice.
Yeah, I know. The Milwaukee Tools, they're on board. We love them so much. I've heard you're a handy man. I've heard that.
Who's fucking
I can't reveal my sources, mate. As you said, you got the joint out here.
I mowed the lawns the other day. I got blisters, fella.
Yeah, look at that.
Blisters from mowing lawns, mate. I'm not a handy man. Let's just put that out there.
Look up. They're the money, mate. You got to look after the hands.
Mate, I'll go easy.
What is speaking of Milwaukee Tools, if there was one tool that you'd like right now, what would it be?
One tool, probably a little power drill. I think they're just very versatile with all the little attachments.
Mate, well, I'm going to give you... Actually, I'll just get it out now. Right. The beautiful thing about all
Or a beautiful leaf blower, whatever this thing is, mate.
We've got everything. That's just... What do we got there? We've got the blower, right? That's the leaves, so you don't... You get the pull at the back there. You got to make sure you're looking smith.
Sherry.
I think they've got everything here. It's all battery charged. Right. So there you go.
Yes, love this, mate. We're actually about to crack into a renovation couple of weeks.
Well, you've got everything. Yeah, you got the competitor of RIXX there, the old goggles.
They're pretty nice.
But mate, there's plenty there. We've got blowers. We've got the whipper snipper out the back here.
This is unreal.
There's plenty coming your way. But what is the tool that? So I can't. Someone asked me, I'd be going. I don't know. Yeah. I'd probably be on the blower, just blowing the weaves.
True.
The leaves. What's the one thing that you find yourself on at home the most, or are you a bit?
I've got the Dyson vacuum.
The Dyson vacuum.
We've got 2 dogs, golden retrievers, drop hair everywhere. So it's once a day, bloody set up vacuuming. So
wouldn't it ever? You love your dogs, don't you? You're always with the dogs.
Love our dogs, absolutely. No, they are great fun, but it's a vacuum, mate. Always on it.
You're doing it every day?
Yeah, every day. Yeah.
And do you sleep in bed with him?
Yeah, Flip, he's set up right in the middle of us. He's
to be fair everywhere.
He's claimed
I can't deal with fur, man.
Nah, mate, you just got to embrace it.
I can't embrace it. It gets on the jeans.
Let's carry on, mate.
Let's carry on, mate. I can't deal with it.
Dear.
Now, the handiest moment of your career.
Handiest moment?
Of life, like in life. What is one moment where you go, bang, just really handy.
Just nailed it?
Just nailed it.
Righto. A handy moment. Well, probably handy or one of my proudest moments when the bushfires ripped through Gippsland, going back a few years now, 2020 I think it was, did the big fundraiser to shave the dreadlocks.
Oh, you did too.
And raised, I think, about 350 grand. So that was one of the, unbelievable feeling to be play a part in trying to help galvanise a community and give back to the area where I grew up, So that was probably my handy moment, brother.
Milwaukee Tools handy moment. Mate, let's touch on that. That isn't well done. It's incredible effort. And big, because those dreads were, you don't cut them off lightly. You had them, how long did you have them for?
I would have had them probably 10 years, yeah.
Jeez, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was a while, and they were ready to go though, mate. Like Kate had been handing me for a couple of years to get rid of them. So it's, timing wise, I think that was the one to just pull the trigger and, I haven't looked back, mate.
How was the sculpt? I'm not going to name him, but I've taken a bloke to the barbers. I said, mate, you got to get the fade. He knows who he is as well. and he had all the rough dandruff, and his head was just banged up, mate. He'd had the dreads for that long.
Perfect.
Was your head all right?
The melon was okay. I got away with it better than I thought. I thought this is going to be real rough, but buttered up okay.
Mate, that is we just seen what Ned Brockman just did.
Mate, how's that?
Unbelievable.
It's so inspiring.
It's so inspiring. He had a team, and that's why, but one man to do what he's done. And the amount of money that he's raised, it's like what you've done is obviously it's just as good. Like it's anyone that goes out there and does anything for a greater purpose, it's so good to see, and everyone wants to jump on board. But what he did,
mate, I was like sitting in absolute awe watching that happen. I was like, when the Puma crew, part of the Puma family, they sent me a bit of a rundown on what he was trying to do, and I thought, this bloke is kidding himself.
That's exactly what I'm like, if he does, because I've done a lot of soft tissues lately, I go, if he does the calf tendon like I've done, I could not walk.
Like, it's insane. And you see the finish in there, like, the amount of crew that rallied behind him. I think he's just ticked over $2.5 million raised for We Mobilise or whatever the crew is, the homelessness. So, just insane.
Mate.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I've ever watched an Instagram live interview before, but I watched the whole one with the great man interviewing him, and he just sat there. They interviewed his mum and his dad and his missus, and I think his missus got a few. She's probably traumatized from just the places he would have went mentally.
Seriously, that's it. The mental grit and resolve on that bloke. He's 23, I think. That's having a proper.
Is he 23?
Yeah.
So he's pretty
only
young.
Yeah. So I hope his body butters up all right, because he cooked. But that is just unbelievably inspiring, and I love that stuff. The ultra endurance gear. Like, I'd love to have a crack at not what he's done, but
just something. Like that. I feel like you can't do anything like that now. It's like
he's clocked it. He's actually clocked it. It's like, anyway.
It's like Uber Eats comes out and then there's like 15 different options. They're like, Uber Eats is already here. You can't copy him. Yeah. What he did was crazy. You just got to think about, like, I mean, I'm sure you click into athlete mode there and go, how's the recovery? The physio, ice bars, backing it up, soft tissue.
Yeah, it's huge.
I don't even know how he did it.
Yeah, no, it's just crazy. His like pain barrier must be outrageous. It sounded like he had stresses, and he was talking about his bones going to mush at stages and blisters everywhere. And I'm like, mate,
there was stuff in his toenail. When he said there's like,
maggots coming out
of the toenails, I said, that'll do me. That's where I'm.
I'll leave it to you.
Time out for a couple of days there. He just keeps going.
But I reckon the amount of crew that he will manage to inspire just to go and do something, whether it even is just going for a run, get active, help out others, like he's motivated and inspired an entire nation. Huge.
Oh, mate, you're spot on. I think when everyone thinks they're a bit sore.
Yeah, butter up
and just and he's a character as well.
He's done that. He's done it perfectly. He got the big mullet flowing, and
hasn't he ever? The Puma crew, you're a part of that. Great support.
Yeah.
And great by them getting behind him.
Massive.
Huge risk in the eyes of, people that doubted him, but they were obviously full behind him and backed him. And I just can't wait to see this doc. I think there has to be a doco. They had a guy that was covering all.
Yeah, no, I'd imagine they'd have to whip something up about it. But as you say, could have easily crumbled. 10 days in, I think he was talking about he was cactus.
Yeah.
And then he's charged on. So the whole ups and downs, like, huge. So, yeah, as you say, big from Puma to get around him. No doubt.
Big from Puma.
Yeah, love it.
From an ex-Adidas man. It's a big from Puma. They're very big. They've done well. And nice. Nettie, not that he'd be listening, but if you are, son.
On your brother. Big shout to you.
Yeah, big shout out. You are the man. I just haven't seen anything like it. Do you think he'll do another one?
I reckon it'll be in his bones now. He'll have to.
Do you think he's going to get, you're talking about, your NAB Cup, you're going, fuck, I want more. Do you reckon he's going to go, I want that again?
Yeah, no doubt. I honestly reckon he will. He'll have a bit of a bug for it, I feel, but yeah.
Surely it's a 3 year. You got to go back in the paddock for 3 years, have a spell, don't you?
I know, surely.
Just first up, just one win back in the spell. Mate, I could just talk about it all day. It's just there's so much going on. Now, mate, RIXX and retirement, we've already touched on. I've got a few options. You're an OG. You've been unbelievable. We don't
stay one, brother.
I know. We don't have many of this, the metal frame drifts. I know what you like.
They were nice.
So I brought a few combos here, mate. So these are the brand new Marlin Champagne. These are literally coming out tonight.
Very nice.
We've got the Soho Black. So if you're going to Derby Day or the Stakes Day.
A little cheeky little different shape.
Yeah. And then I've got these ones as well. The Orbit Mint.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this. Just got it on a platter today.
Give us a look at this.
I know you like
these are nice. Give us a go at these bad boys.
But, mate, thank you. You've been a massive support for RIXX since the start. The great man's been, look at them. You've always rocked the circle frames.
Odell were wearing something like this.
He was. I can't wait to see where he's at. I know you're not an NFL man, but I hope he ends up at the Ravens. We need another wide receiver.
Happy days. Thanks, brother. These are cool.
No, pleasure. And obviously, everyone listening and watching, we've got a discount code ACES at checkout for 20% off and free express shipping. Got the great man in the Orbit Mints. Yeah, Jeez, aren't you looking just mint right now?
Sharp as if you're not watching the video. Probably don't watch it.
If you're listening, just get back on YouTube and it's streaming right now.
So nice.
Now, mate, we've touched on travel a bit. You've been quite lucky to travel the world, and we spoke about India and Europe. if there's only one place you and the Dale could, and take the dogs as well, but you have to retire. So it's all over. You've made squillions, so money's not an issue. This location is the last place, though. You can only pick one place to take your Rixies, your mint orbits, the pups, the missus. You probably have a family. Where are you retiring in the RIXX and why?
Righto. A couple of joints, I reckon. So mentioned it earlier, but Croatia, little place called Hvar. Magic. I reckon up in the hills there, get yourself a perch, big bit of land, couple of animals. I reckon little hobby farm up in the hills of Hvar. Got the cobblestone streets, beautiful waters, like still a sick little vibe, bars, restaurants, little party scene. Awesome. I reckon that'd be the go. So take your whole crew. Like you need everyone over.
Well, you
there.
got all the cash.
Yeah, he's got the cash. Fly them all over.
What other animals would you have?
Oh, I reckon I love a little Scottish Highlander cow. Like a couple of those ones with the fringes and the horn. They're sick.
Full setup.
They're roosters.
The country boy, look at him go.
Couple of cows. I don't know. You'd throw a couple of cattle on. I don't know how they go over there. But anyway, maybe mountain goats. Mate.
You'd be the coolest bloody countryman ever.
You're killing it. Walking your cows up the street. Oh, yeah. I reckon that'd be the perch, but more around here, like hinterland of Byron would be elite, or even back home in MILWAUKEE, mate.
Yeah, they always say it's something about pulling you back home.
Yeah, you got it. Everyone loves their hometown, but I think, little farmland back in Imby somewhere would be elite.
Is it too far away from the ocean?
What, Inverloch? No, Leongatha was. So where I grew up was about 20 minutes from Inverloch.
That's close.
We had a holiday house in
Gippy was more
Inverloch.
inland.
No, but Gippy's a big place, mate.
Oh, it's a big place. I know.
I don't reckon you've been in Inverloch.
I don't reckon I've been to a dodgy. Where was your home game?
Morwell was at hometown.
Where's that?
Sorry, home ground.
Yeah, home ground, sorry.
Yeah, Morwell's that's about 45 minutes from Leongatha. Anyway.
I need to get back to the
Mate, you do. We'll take you for a tour.
Yeah, I need a big tour.
I'll give you the rundown. Inverloch, that's the place, mate. I'm telling you.
Is Josh Dunkley close to...
Dunks was a sail boy. He was...
How far is that from you?
No, that's a bit, probably an hour and a half.
Yeah, no, my bearings are right off here.
Yeah, you're way off there, brother. Anyway, I'll give you the tour at some stage.
So you'd go Gippy maybe? No
doubt, I reckon at some stage. So we're going to have the combo of Hvar, bit of time there, bit of time in Byron, a bit of time back home.
Oh, so 6-3-3 maybe. Oh, mate, you've got it all over.
Not too bad.
Now, mate, if I'd have known you were NBA, not NFL, I would have got you a fresh cap from our friends at Caps.
Easy.
We've got a couple combos here, mate. I don't know if you like your caps. Pick one of them.
I went for actually went to a couple of games of the Denver Bronco games. But
did you? They're stinking it up at the moment.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Oh, I've got it.
We'll go with the Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders. Joe Watson's team as well. Wispy, man. Wispy loves the Raiders. They
I'll get on board.
They got the chocolates today. This podcast will come a week later, but they're 2 and 3.
Pill, hopefully that.
Oh mate, everyone, our friends.
Cool cat in the orbit.
Adjust it. Take your time. While I just give everyone another discount code from our friends at Caps.
Throw it in.
Head online at caps.com.au. That is CAPZ. That's how you spell Caps. And use the discount code ACES for a further checkout. And you'll be looking like the great man. Oh, he's gone the backwards.
Wow.
I love that shit.
Is that good?
Yeah. Oh, man, it's up to you. The fringe at the front.
Yeah.
I don't know these days, man. I'll just chuck
Neither,
it on.
mate. I'm not a cat man, but anyway.
Yeah,
Caps,
but you're going to do it for Caps right now. The Caps clanger. It's been a bit of a trendy topic, this one. The little question I've got. Now, mate, we've had clangers, just to give you some time to think. A Caps clanger can be anything. It could be a time where you're on the footy field, because we'll be able to clip it up and find it. But like a real clanger. It could be something you've done at home where you're like, I've just had an absolute mare there. It's a clanger.
Yeah.
Are there any Caps clangers coming to mind for the great man?
Oh, clangers. No, we won't go on field because we've had enough of them. We'll go. Actually, I've had a couple of horrors with the car, so car issues. I had
grab this.
Recent one, a physio from the club. He has his own physio clinic out in Maribyrnong. Had to pick up some stuff for him from the club, one of them being this big slide board that you do the old groin slides and you slide across it with these socks on. Anyway.
Yeah, I've seen
it. Yeah, she's a few metres wide. Thing folds up. Toyota sponsor at the time had it in the back of the Hilux, brand spanker. So I was like, mate, no worries, I'll load it up. So the thing was pretty big, ended up leaning in the tray and up over the top bar on the roof. So she's pitched up like that. Had no rope. So I'm thinking, how am I going to tie this down? So I snuck back into the club, into the gym, and I found a bungee cord, the big bungee. So I've rolled out and I've just wrapped this sucker up. No idea. Can't even do a granny knot to save myself. So I've wrapped this thing up as tight as I could, thinking I'll be safe as houses. Rolling out of the club, and as you know, Tullamarine, windy as hell out near the airport.
Mate, blowing a gale.
Booting down, and as I've taken off, the wind has picked up the slide board off the back of the tray And in my rear view, I've had a look, and because it's on the bungee cords, she's like gone flying. The bungee has then slung this board, heavy as hell, this thing, smacked it straight back into the back of the car. I literally just picked it up from Toyota, and I've got out and I'm thinking, what's the damage here? There was like crew on the sidewalk that had seen it all, looking like an absolute goose.
You can't hide out there either.
I just smoked the tray, the biggest ding. It looked like a truck. It just booted up the back. Anyway, that was a mare. Couple of other little bingles and stuff, but yeah. Anyway,
mate,
that was a horror.
That's a cat's clanger.
Caps clanger proper.
Oh, mate, that is a ripper. Well, mate, thank you so much for your time. We could talk all day. Today was more footy for me. I don't normally go there, but as a Dons man, you've got to ask those. Sorry, mate.
I enjoyed the chat, mate.
When we have a beer, I can relax a little bit more.
Happy days,
but on the potty, you always come back. So, and you do a mountain of work for the community, and this is what the Oz American Aces platform is. It's about the people. If you've ever got something special to share, you may come back. Get on here, safe space, bring the boys on. We love a little bit of banter. Oz American Aces, so it is American sport. I'll have to get you into the NFL a bit more.
But I'll have to get around it, no doubt.
The NBA, but we love all sports. But and mate, this is from our friends, obviously RIXX and Caps. You get the minor prizes there. But our friends at Milwaukee Tools, they honestly are treating you. There's another 6 prizes coming your way.
So nice. Thanks to the crew. That's unreal.
Mate, they're so good. And we can't thank them enough. So, mate, thank you for coming on,
Tommy.
being so honest. Good to see you.
You too, brother.
APH for a beer soon, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll round that up. I did. The news broke today about Roscoe Lyon getting the gig at Saints.
I did see that, yeah.
I'm hearing you're on the hit list.
Mate, can you imagine the fucking blow I've picked up?
What do you reckon?
Oh, mate, I wouldn't be able to. I can't
back
sprint
under
these
Roscoe's
days.
books.
I was, good on him. He's back in. He hasn't won one yet, so there's that, there's that burning desire.
No doubt. Fire up again.
Yeah, mate, don't worry, the WhatsApps are blowing up. It's kind of come out of nowhere, hasn't it?
So
last week you kind of knew.
Yeah,
I've got a theory.
Sure.
I've got a theory when a coach, when a coach goes.
I heard Ross is a huge fan of you too, brother.
When a coach goes, there's always another one just ready to go. So when Brett Ratton was just instantly sacked, I thought he's got the job because his name popped up.
Yeah,
there you go. So, mate, all the best to him. He hasn't won one. He's got the best defensive mind you'll see.
Genius,
there'll be a low scoring. There'll be a lot of effort. Don't worry about that. The boys will be playing their role. I reckon Maxie King will benefit. He'll be getting the ball a lot.
Very nice.
But big news, wasn't it?
Yeah,
what were your
news.
thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, good on him. Good on him. He was so, he's obviously mentioned around the Dons gig, but didn't want to put his hat in the ring, but firing up at the Saints. There you go.
Yeah, going back to the Saints, mate.
Good on him.
Well, there you go. When do you play the Saints, mate? He didn't want to put the hat in the ring. That's a little memory bank job. That.
We'll store that one away.
Just on Scotty, have you met him? Did you know him before?
I had little bits to do with him. Had an international rules trip. Actually, he was over there with us.
You would have seen him in full flight.
Him and Roscoe, actually.
Yeah, Rossi's good on the beers.
A couple of jars before.
Yeah, those boys would go well together.
They loved it, but caught him a couple of times since, and he'll be a ripper, mate. Looking forward to it.
Oh, mate, that's going to be exciting. Well, yeah, again, brother, thanks for coming on. Enjoy the rest of the off season. It's a time to just look after the rig. Always been a good rig as well, the country boy. So you'd be looking chiseled, no doubt. But mate, thanks for your time, brother, and we'll get you back on soon, no doubt.
Tommy, love your work. Thanks, bro. Good man.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Tommy Talks. We literally can't thank you enough for all your support. Speaking of support, our great mates, Milwaukee Tools. Without yous, we wouldn't be here. Milwaukee Outdoor Power Equipment gives you the power to clear, cut, and maintain the outdoors without the petrol headaches. No pull starts, no engine maintenance, no mixing petrol and oil. Book a test drive now at milwaukeetools.com.au. Milwaukee, nothing but heavy duty. All right, catch you on the next one.